Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of the Speak On It podcast. I am your host, Big Mike. We are live doing a special Talk episode. We have a special guest in the building. But before I introduce him, let me bring in, I'm not alone. I've got my man Breezy in the building.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I don't have no special name today, so we're gonna go by. I'll name myself later, but it's not my normal name, so we're gonna keep the ball rolling, keeping it rolling, keeping the ticker on. You know how it says like how many days since the accident? Yeah, getting pretty high up
like
there with the ticker name.
like we have our Roz ticker.
Oh
How many,
yeah, the
how
Ross
many
ticker.
shows until Roz comes back? But that's
Yo,
not
that that
about.
that picture you had up there when you first started. I was cracking
I
up in the
I was
background.
hoping I did not see that. That was a fast click from previous episodes that we will not get into. That will be for us in production only.
Uh-huh.
But let's bring in our special guest for this episode. This episode, as you can see by the title, is all about him. My man Paul Guarino is here. How you doing today, sir?
What's up, guys? Appreciate you having me on.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. Yes,
Paul
sir.
is here. Paul is here. Him and Breezy, friends. Friends look out for friends. We asked a favor. He decided to bless us with his presence. We appreciate it. We're gonna just chop it up a little bit. Just chop it up. Have some good talking. We have you on because we are interested in learning about you and all of your many talents.
Yeah, appreciate that. I'm looking forward to it.
As you can see, for those watching us on our video platforms, Paul is the CEO of PG Sports, which is a sports management company. Paul, you wanna drop some names? Let them know who you've been out here with. I see the hat. We see the hat.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so I work with all different athletes from pretty much all sports. We'll get into it more once I know once you start asking me questions, but I'd say primarily right now it's boxing, basketball, MMA, and football.
Mm-hmm. That actually does lead me right into my first question, which is, what is PG Sports and how did you come up with the concept for it? What was your main driving point into coming up with it?
Yeah, so I started PG Sports back in 2011 as just a Twitter page. I was going in between my freshman and sophomore year of college. It was a summer, and I just created the Twitter page to just have a foundation for after college because I don't know. I think I was just bored in the summer. You just didn't know. It was kind of like a weird time, like first year of college. Summer jobs, stuff like that. Like
Mm-hmm.
don't know what you're doing in life, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
So I started the Twitter. Always wanted to be a sports agent, so I was like, why not start creating something now? And I just pretty much started tweeting about sports and kind of just like it was a news slash like blog and things like that. And then from there, I created T-shirts to just promote the pages. And then growing up, you always see like athletes wearing stuff. So I was like, yeah, let me try to get some athletes to wear it. And being from Connecticut, there's not that many pro athletes, so I would just literally start DMing people. And this is back in 2011 and 12, so like you got to remember, like there wasn't even DMing on Instagram. Well, Instagram just got founded, I think 2012. So like there wasn't even
Mm-hmm.
DMs on there, so it was mostly like Twitter, and then Facebook. Uh, Old reliable Facebook, like just
Yeah,
messaging
there was
people on there.
the
Yeah,
the
Facebook
two
Messenger.
OGs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So yeah, that's really
probably
like how I got started.
probably mainly Twitter because Facebook Messenger was like that was like the forbidden areas back then. Those
Yeah.
areas was wild.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll touch on it, but it's funny because back then there was a point where when you were verified on Twitter, you could DM anybody. So like that was the value of it back then.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
as opposed to now where anybody has a blue check.
Yeah, now you can. Yeah.
Well, we won't touch into that. We won't touch. We won't touch into where things have gone since.
Yeah.
Yeah, back what is it? How did I meet Paul? We used to be throwing our kickback parties and
Mm-hmm.
having like we used to have vendors that have pop-up tables and stuff like that. And I always see Paul in there and I'd be like, yo, what is this dude doing in here? And they'd be like, yo, he got those is clothes over there. And I'd be like, and I'll go over there and I'd be like, oh, PG Sports, okay. And I will always like make a mental note and I will always say, I'm like, oh, what's going on? What's going on? We'll always say what's up to each other. And then I think you came to one of our like outside events, one of our kickback
Mm-hmm.
get-togethers, like probably the field day or something like that. And I was like, okay, now I'm starting to see what he's into. And then I followed you on Facebook, and I used to always see your stuff. You used to always post your stuff, and I think I saw you post something with Didi one day. He had like a PG Sports hat or a shirt or something like that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm a huge Yankee fan, as you can see, like. And this whole and almost this whole podcast is all Yankees fans. And when you posted that Didi Gregorius stuff, I was like, I gotta keep my eye on this dude because he working. And at that point in time, that's when we had just started dropping our zombie stuff as well. So I was like, oh yeah. And you was always been like just a little genuine dude to me. And I was like, word man, he's cool, man.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I appreciate that. That's crazy. Just like even like when you were saying all that stuff, it just like kind of brings back memories because it was so long ago. But it doesn't feel like it, but
Yeah.
it kind of does at the same time. I don't know. It's weird. But and yeah, like Didi Gregorius, yeah, he was like one of the first. I'd say one of the first people I sent stuff to. He was in the minor leagues. I literally just scrolled across his page on Twitter, and he had like the Michael Jordan type thing where he had his arms out with the ball, the baseballs
Hmm.
instead with the flames. And I was like, oh, this guy looks cool. And then like I looked him up. He was like, he wasn't like a top prospect, but I'd say he was like middle of the tier. So I was like, why not? And then he was on. I think he was a Reds prospect at the time. So
Mm-hmm.
he was wearing my stuff. He wore it every year consecutively, just randomly.
Mm.
There's this blood sweat success shirt that I made probably in 2012 or 13 that I sent him one, and I swear he'd been wearing it for 10 years. And I might have sent him another one, but I think it was the second one was gray. So that's why I'm like, yo, he's been
Mm.
wearing this shirt, and I'm like, yo, you got to think about it. Like he's a multi-millionaire, and he's wearing the same shirt for 10 years.
Is that the one that was in triangle?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's like like one shout out to the printers like up in New York that did that because I was like, first of all, like it's not even faded or anything, and he's like wearing it all the time, like so that was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You'll never forget the quality of something. If
Yeah,
something holds up, you'll never forget it.
you wear it into the
definitely,
ground because I know I do.
Hmm.
definitely.
So
That's
that
what's up,
being
man.
said, you were in school. I don't know if you were in school. You said you wanted to be a sports agent. Did you have a sports background growing up, or was like, did you go to school
Mm.
for it, or just it like you said, it just this just kind of happened? Not that it just happened. You put the work in, but like just blew up.
Yeah, I'd say a mixture of growing up, like Breezy. I grew up a Yankees fan. My family was a Yankees fan, so it just like kind of that just kind of happens. I feel like, especially here where we don't have pro sports teams and stuff, so it's always like Yankees, Mets, Red Sox, Patriots, Giants, Jets. Um,
But
so yeah, I
we
think
just got word that they trying to bring back those Wallers, man. Bring back the New
yeah,
Haven Whalers, man.
yeah,
The
yeah, that'd
hockey
be sick.
team, bring them back.
Yeah, that'd be dope. Yeah, I think just growing up like that, and then I always go back to just I think I was an entrepreneur, like I had an entrepreneurial uh I guess asset or like skills before I even knew it because I used to, have like tag sales and when I found out like you guys could definitely relate to this, like going to GameStop and trading in your games and you get like $5. And
Mm-hmm.
that's what that I think that's like a turning point where I didn't really notice, but like I'd be like, yo, and I remember saving up $50 to buy like my first video game ever. How long it took me to get $50 back then, and then uh,
Mm.
and then selling it, selling the games, and I was like, all right, there got to be a better way. And then that was when, I didn't have no laptop. I had like the desktop, So
Mhm.
Yeah, I added that stuff.
I don't remember how I discovered eBay or like heard about it, but that's when I learned about eBay, and you could sell your games for like way more than that, like get 20, 20, 25, $30 for it instead of five. And then, so then it's like, I think that was like one of my starts of like my entrepreneurial journey and like selling stuff that I didn't want anymore instead of, getting rid of it or like selling it for super cheap. So I think that led me to, kind of making my own business and all that. So yeah, I think that's what led me to PG Sports and kind of just like mixture of sports and business, and that's what I do today.
Man, nightmare fuel, GameStop. I would never.
Now you now
I,
now as adults, like you think about like how much money they made off us selling the games back for $5 and then flipping them for like 40.
Is
yeah,
ridiculous.
you took the smart route, man. Going to eBay and being able to say, all right, this game is kind of old, but it still has great value. It's still a really good game.
Yeah,
I'll discount it to $30 where I spent $60 or $50 for it.
yeah,
Somebody will bite on that because it's like, all right, $30, it's a good game, and I want that game. I'm not gonna pay full value for it. I'll buy it, But goddamn,
yeah. When you think about it, like obviously no one likes to buy used shit, but like when it's like a video game, like who cares? Like you just
Yeah,
put it in
as
the
long as
system.
it works.
Yeah,
yeah, and me and Mike and myself, we worked at Best Buy before, and our and and they have policies where like if you buy a game, the moment you walk out the store, you can't return it and stuff like that. So to
yeah,
be able to like have a return on your investment, like eBay was always like, and this is not an ad. We should actually bleep these names out. But nah, that's for real, man. You buy a game, you play it, and you're like, this game is trash, but I know somebody else will like it.
yeah,
eBay, you'd be able to just like resell it for yourself. Get your money back.
definitely.
Yeah, I. So I know you said growing up, there's no sports teams in Connecticut. It's just you named it. Like we're especially if you're in Southern Connecticut, you're just kind of you're either a New York fan or you're a Boston fan. I heard you mention your family watched the Yankees. So is baseball like that's your number one sport? And like now that you're in the business,
Mhm.
like do you still are you still a fan? Do you watch the game the same way, or is it like a business? Like, has it translated to like it's all just like you're just at work when you're watching games, like looking for
Yeah.
opportunities? Like, I can sell that. I can, I need to get him, or like stuff like that.
Yeah, no, that's a great question. So one, let's see, which one do I want to answer first? Basically, it's growing up, yes, baseball was my number one favorite sport. Ironically, I don't work with any baseball players right now. And uh, when I created PG Sports at first, I was only going to do baseball. So luckily, I didn't. But yeah, and
Yeah,
then two, going to games and stuff. So the other weird thing is like I don't really even watch sports anymore. I watch
Really?
boxing. I watch boxing a lot and MMA and stuff. Like, but like I think I became the sports fan I never wanted to be. Like only watching, like only watching, like bigger games and stuff like that. Just
yeah,
like, but I don't know. Maybe it's just like when like you're an adult and stuff, and that's weird to say still. But I think that's probably one aspect. And then going to games, yeah, like I don't really go to games for pleasure. I go to games to network and
For
stuff like
work?
that. Yeah. But it's still fun though. It's not like I don't it's not like I
I
hate it.
mean, it's a great
Um
job.
yeah, so like even
yeah.
for example, like I a couple weeks ago a couple weeks ago, I do a soccer podcast for it's called Perfect Soccer, and one of the guys on like our team is on a USL team, and Hartford has a team. So I went up to the
Mhm.
game, and then on the Hartford team, so USL is like the minor leagues of the MSL. I meant that the MLS.
MLS.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So so the Hartford team had a kid, and he was from Waterbury. And I was like, what the heck? Like I never heard of this kid. And I was like, so then I was like, all right, I'm gonna look him up. He's like 17 years old, and he's a pro, and he's in high school still. He goes to Holy Cross. So I was like, yeah, I gotta get this kid. Like he's 17, like he's 17. And he's already a pro, like in the minor leagues. Like he's gonna make the MLS. Like so, I already hit him up. I already talked to him a few times, so I'm working on that. So if I get him, he'll be the youngest person I ever signed. He's 17.
Man, wow. You said Hartford has a team.
Yeah, it's called Hartford Athletic.
Hmm.
See, and that's the other thing that's kind of weird. Like, I know you lived down here, so it's like the Hartford, and then like Mohegan has the Connecticut Sun, but it's just like still like even though Connecticut's small, those things are still kind of like far away. So it's like weird. Like we
Yeah,
don't in New Haven area, we don't have no minor league teams down there.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Who did we used to have for
Besides the
baseball?
Bridgeport Sound Tigers, I mean, but I'm just not a hockey guy.
Yeah.
We used that New Haven Ravens. That was lit
Mhm.
back in the day because they were double A. Like that was legit. They were like legit prospects.
Yeah, and what is it? We don't have the Bluefish anymore.
Yeah, no, their whole stadium's the concert venue now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the uh is that the
Amphitheater, I think it's
It's
called.
the
yeah,
amphitheater. Yeah. I haven't even been in there yet.
Yeah, me either.
yeah, outdoor concert arena. Yeah, man.
But
That's funny. Yeah, I mean that's definitely how most fans turn out as they get older. It's like they they used to watch sports for the love of it, and now it's like they know they can't take off their politics hat. So like it's
Mhm.
like, all right, I'm only gonna watch when it has something on the line, when it's like they're really playing for something, like the
Yeah,
final, the World Series, the all those big games and stuff like that. So I understand what you say. You gotta be someone that's like invested to watch, especially baseball. It's
yeah,
182 games. Oh my gosh.
yeah. That's why I think I gravitate towards boxing and MMA because it's just like they're most of the time they're fighting like every 3 months, so it's like and every event is like usually semi big, so it's like I don't like the
Yeah.
thrill of that. I think.
They always got something on the line almost every
Yeah,
fight.
yeah,
Hmm.
the big fights anyway.
yeah.
Um, so I did, contrary to what James was talking about, I did do a little bit of homework. I do know some of. I know you worked with Kimbo Slice Jr.
Yep.
That correct? And I was wondering, so when you talk to and manage these athletes in different sports, do you have to talk to them differently? Like, is managing and talking to a boxer or a fighter like Kimbo, is it different from like a football or like the 17-year-old, the soccer star? Like, is
Mhm.
it different? Is it different energies with them? Do you have to manage the brand differently?
Mhm.
Like approach
Is it,
wise.
yeah,
Yeah. So so basically, so for some guys I'm like just their marketing manager. Some guys I'm like their manager for like everything. So for Kimbo, like I'm his marketing manager, so I help him like get sponsorships and interviews and help him with social media and things like that. I reached out to him back in 2018, and I talked to his manager, and pretty much just sent him some gear, and then over the years we kind of just like built a relationship. Um, like some even like it probably sounds weird, but like I don't even meet some of these people in person for like years. Like I didn't meet him until I think last year, 2000 or 2021 was the first time
wow,
I met him. But it's cool too because like he's from Miami, but he lives in California. But he also has Connecticut ties. Like he actually lived in West Hartford for a few years, and was training out here too. But I didn't even know it, but we that was just a thing. And then
mm,
actually, no, actually, I did. I went to his fight at Mohegan a couple of years before the pandemic, and he lost and he ruptured his like Achilles. That's why he lost because he like something happened like there. And
I
then
know exactly what fight you're talking about.
yeah, so he was here. So I that's why I didn't get to see him that fight either. And then the next one was 2020. I was still mad. It was the week of COVID that it hit, and we all had no idea what was going on. and it was like literally like three or four of my guys were on the card, so it was like going to be like the biggest card for me personally ever. And I was like, and then it got canceled, and it was crazy, and I was like, what the heck?
Oh,
But yeah, that was crazy. So that was the second time I was supposed to meet him, and then yeah, so eventually I met him the following year. But yeah, so and I got connected with him just like yeah, I hit him up on Instagram. He gave me his manager's contact. I talked to him, and then like he kind of just saw what I did, and then yeah, we talk like all the time. Like that's my boy now. And then same thing with Anthony Taylor, who's his teammate. Uh, he's like a perfect example of like taking a chance on a guy. Like he was 6-5 in MMA at the time. He hit me up because he was Kimbo's teammate and just saw what I was doing with him. And I was like, yeah, why not? Like I talked to Kimbo about it. Like, yo, is he a good dude? Blah blah blah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So now I don't know if you guys know about Anthony Taylor, but now he's a crossover boxer. Been on KSI's cards, who's KSI is like a big influencer in the UK. Now he blew up like doing all the like he's literally going viral. Like every time he goes to the press conference, he was on Shade Room like singing to the guy during the face offs, doing crazy stuff.
Yeah,
got in the ring,
yeah.
called out Floyd. Floyd called him into the ring. He was wearing my shirt too, so that was cool. That one went super viral. And then 2 weeks ago, he beat the one of the top influencer boxers. He's an MMA fighter by trade, so you got to remember like he's a pro fighter still. So people just like sleep on it and stuff. It's weird, but so he beat one of the big influencers that was 3-0. His name's Salt Poppy. So that one just went viral. The whole fight just went viral. It got over 1 million views. It was on DAZN, like pay-per-view and all that, but they re-put it on YouTube, so that got 1 million views, and that was the first Misfits fight ever to get 1 million views, and that was their 7th event.
that is wild.
Yeah.
How like what a feeling it must be to like know that all right, this guy is wearing my gear, right? And then he does something outrageous like that and it goes viral. You're like, oh, it's like the Leonardo DiCaprio meme where you're like,
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, no, I mean it's dope. It's dope, and like especially when I like with the Floyd thing, since obviously everyone knows who Floyd is, so it's like I was getting text messages months later, and I was like, "Yo," and they were like, "Yo, did you see this?" I was like, "Yeah, it's like super old," but I was like, "That's dope." I was like, "Which page are you seeing it on?" Like, I just want to see what other pages are posting about it, and then like people were giving him backlash for not actually sparring him uh during that time, but that was I don't know what he was thinking then, but that was a perfect thing to do because why would you spar a guy for free when if he like exposes you, then no one's going to want to see the fight. So now people are still interested, and he's fighting, and Anthony Taylor's name is growing and growing, but he's not as big as like the people he's been fighting. But at this point, like he's bringing all this hype, and he knows how to talk right and not be like he knows how to talk trash without being like disrespectful, basically. And
yeah.
and if you've seen any of Floyd's like last couple of fights, like nobody is in the stands. So like
yeah,
at this point, I think he really has a shot at doing it.
yeah. Yeah, you might have a shot to get a exhibition fight from him.
So I don't know if you guys know. So Floyd's next fight is June
It's
11th versus John Gotti III, who's like
yeah,
grandson of the mobster.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So
So
I'm saying like they're just pulling out random guys. Like why not?
at this point, yeah, I think Floyd just does it for the TV money because,
Yeah.
like you said, the gate. I
Yeah.
can't see him making too much money on the gate because Floyd's one of my favorite fighters, but them arenas
Yeah, I think he's
be
I,
kind of
yeah.
empty.
Floyd's a man, but like I feel like he's diminishing his brand a little bit. I think
I
one,
agree.
I think he should just stick to just doing one big one a year, not doing multiple 3, 4, 5 exhibitions a year.
yeah, because it's starting to become a circus act now.
Yeah, it's just like who wants to know it? It's not even like nobody even wants to watch it.
Yeah, because we all know what's going to happen. It's some guy that Floyd is just going to beat up for a few minutes, and then that's going to be it. And we all get surprised if someone hits him at this point.
Yeah,
man.
Which
maybe a guy could tag him up and get something going. If he gets it, tag him up and get Floyd going.
That would be crazy.
Floyd to turn see red like when one of those brothers grabbed his hat.
Yeah. But yeah, see, like that was cool. So he was on Floyd's card when he fought Deji, who's KSI's brother. So he was on that
Mhm.
card, and he fought this guy Jack Fincham, who's on Love Island, which I believe is a UK show. I don't know if it's a US or both.
I think it might be both. I don't know if it's on in the
Yeah,
UK, but it's on in the US.
yeah. So
Mhm.
yeah, he fought one of those guys on that card. So that was cool for him to be on a Floyd card. So he's one of, like, besides Deji and Jake Paul, like he's been on two Jake Paul cards, he's been on a Floyd card, and he's been on KSI card. So like the biggest influencers in boxing.
Yeah.
It's,
It's
that's how
just
you
it's
get
like
your
a
name
it's
out
like a
there.
motto. Your resume. It has to have those names on there. That's all that matters. You were there. But
Yep.
yeah, man.
And I see on here before I move into your local, while we have you on here, your local endeavors. Um, are you also tapping into the WNBA also?
Yeah, for sure. So Renee Montgomery, who went to UConn, I'm her business manager for like pretty much everything. She retired in
I know exactly who she is.
2021. Yeah, so she sat out for social justice in 2020. She was the first athlete to do that. So then that blew up. Um, that's kind of changed everything. So yeah, and then she actually bought her
She
team as
brought the
well.
team. Yep,
Yeah,
she's the owner.
so she's co-owner. So like yeah,
It's
so that's been
boss,
interesting to
boss
do all
move
that stuff.
101.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's been cool. So I've known her since her second year in the WNBA. So that's been cool to see all that. We've been working together since like officially since 2018 or 19. And then I also work with Crystal Dangerfield, who also went to UConn point guard, and she won Rookie of the Year in 2020. And she's on the Dallas Wings currently. I just helped her start her nonprofit, so we just did that, and she had her first camp. And then yeah, I'm looking to work with more UConn women's players, especially.
That is that is quite impressive because she's a big deal over in the WNBA side.
Yeah,
She's not your average, not your average. Her buying the team that she played for was, like I said, boss move 101.
yeah.
Um,
Mhm.
I will say so. You, our other co-host who's on here, our mad producer, Dylan. Know if you're aware that your agency actually is the sponsor for his son's little league team, which
Oh,
is
nice.
which is how all of this came together. Because, like James said, it was kind of the meme with the Leonardo DiCaprio. Like, oh,
Mhm.
I know who does that. And when he showed us a picture of his son at the little league, and that's how all of this started. So, is that something that you feel good giving back in the community? How do you get involved in sponsoring like a little league team? Do you sponsor
Mhm.
any other local teams in and around Connecticut?
Yeah, so I did it. I think the first time I did it was like 2015, and I
Oh
sponsored
yeah,
one team. And then but it was like communication was weird with the old person that was doing it, so like it just didn't, yeah, I don't know, it was weird. And then I just re-engaged with them last year, and it was a new guy, so he's been cool. And it's crazy because uh like the sponsors fill up fast, and I'm like, it's weird because I think usually it's like people need it. So
yeah.
so like this year I was like, yo, I'm on it this year, because I hit him up in like January, because I was like, yo, I want to do more, and I want to be early. So that's why it's like crazy to think about. So like, yeah, I'm also down to, if any. I mean, obviously they need it, but they don't need it at the same time. So I rather like help more different people that actually need it more. But yeah, so yeah, this year I'm sponsoring three teams, and I did a coach pitch team, I think a minor league team, and then I did the softball team, because I want to always do stuff with women athletes or girls. Um, so yeah, that's how that kind of came about. And then my other boy, Anthony Ireland, who's an overseas basketball player from Waterbury, he sponsored a team too. So I went out there a couple of weeks ago. He couldn't come, unfortunately, because he was in New York, actually, Breezy, and uh, and so I got to meet them, and that was cool. So wait, which team is he on?
He is, I believe, Dylan's son is on the coach pitch for West Haven.
Is it so it's the Cubs?
Yes, I think it is the Cubs. Actually,
All right, so I was there. So I might have. I don't know. I might have met them.
You might have seen him. Might have had one of those.
I got the picture. Like, so
That's
maybe
that was exactly what I was going to. I was like, Dylan sent me a picture of his son hitting. He sent that pic not too long ago, and I can tell you what team is on.
Yeah, so here it is at the.
Yeah, that's the picture he sent us.
Yep.
Yeah.
That is the pic.
Small world.
Yeah. So it is the Cubs, right? It's the Cubs.
Yep. Yeah, and then for I know you just asked for other local stuff. So same thing with Anthony Ireland. He's doing just like pickup basketball games. He has it's basically like a whole mini league. So it's pretty dope. I have a team for that too.
So
and actually, one more thing. I forgot my other boys. I sponsor their hockey team. This is cool too. Like you never know what stuff's gonna lead into. So they do ice hockey and roller hockey, and these are just like bear leagues and stuff. But the roller hockey is like even more like I didn't know anything about like roller hockey, like how legit or like whatever. So they were going to like pro tournaments and stuff, and I was like, what? I was like, I don't even know what's going on, but this is cool, like whatever. And they have their own social pages and all that stuff. So, which led my boy Steve. And he's a big PG Sports. He's officially on the PG Sports team. He's the first person to get PG Sports tatted on him. So
yeah, he's a lifer.
So yeah, so he's a big. He goes by big WNBA guy too. So me and him go to the WNBA games a lot, and he's a goalie and the roller hockey team. So I sponsored the roller hockey team and the ice hockey team. It's the same name and stuff. Or there's two different teams, but they're conjoined basically. And then, which led me to working with Adam Ernie, who's from Connecticut. That's in the NHL. He's on the Red Wings past couple years. He's a free agent this summer, so we'll see where he goes. But yeah, that sponsoring that team led me to working with an NHL player, which I had no idea or no intentions that was ever going to happen. So that's cool too. So, just like little things like that, and like I didn't even know like about him either, just because once I started working with him and stuff, like I found out like he grew up here. I mean, he's from here and stuff. His family lives here, but he actually like played hockey in California, which makes no sense because we're in the Northeast with hockey. So yeah, so somehow that happened. And now with Steve, I have to shout him out because then his other boy the other day, like, and Steve just Ubers, right? Steve's like the guy that you go to games with, whatever. You call him up to go do whatever. He's down for whatever, right? He calls me one day. He's like, "Yo, I'm going to France tomorrow." I was like, "Why?" He's like, "Robbie just called me and they need a backup goalie for the pro roller hockey team." And I was like, "What?" I was like, "Bro, you're a pro athlete now." He's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Yeah, it's crazy." Like, yo, one day he's Ubering, the next day he's in France playing pro roller
France
hockey.
playing for roller hockey. That's crazy.
Yeah,
that is.
So right now they're in the playoffs.
24 hours.
Yeah, right now he's the backup goalie because they just needed like some guy got injured,
so
they need a body. So basically, and I'm pretty sure since he's been there, they haven't lost, and they're in like the second or third round now.
So he's the good luck charm.
Yeah,
he's doing his job. He's doing his thing.
Thought? Like he didn't play college hockey, nothing.
And now he's getting paid for it. That's correct.
In France.
In France.
like not a third world country, in France. Like
no,
living.
That's a great living.
Yeah,
that's a great living. So when you're sponsoring these teams, do you like provide anything that they need? Have you donated like bats or anything for them?
No, so it's more just donating money and then getting the logos on it. But I mean, yeah, if they ever need
sure
it,
that
if they ever need it,
they need.
Yeah, I want to do more stuff with I want to do more like stuff like that in general, just because like I know even like the fields at West Haven, like they're garbage. Like I don't know what they're doing over there, but the other problem in West Haven, I'm not sure how familiar you guys are, but there's two different leagues. One's affiliated with Little League, which is obviously everybody knows, and the other one is Shore Haven. So like once again, like why we divided. So like if you guys are together, like that'd be way better for everybody.
For everybody. be able to use the resources
and
better.
and that's why like West Haven will never have a team in the Little League World Series or qualifiers because the town is split in two different leagues. So like, how would there's the All-Star teams aren't going to be real All-Star teams?
Yeah.
Which is terrible for the kids
Yeah,
because there is talent here.
yeah,
And if you ever talk to Dylan, he would be the right coach. ESPN would love to have him as a
Oh
coach.
gosh.
He would be
God,
must see television on on the third baseline if he got West
God,
Haven.
that's funny.
Yo, man. But yeah. I didn't know that they were split like that. I'm familiar with Shore Haven,
Mhm.
but I didn't know it wasn't connected to Little League.
Yeah, so they're like independent basically.
Yeah.
Makes no
Interesting.
sense.
It makes no sense.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I'll break my brain trying to figure it
At
out.
the end of the day, I hate using it, but politics.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's unfortunately it's the world that we live in, and everyone, one way or another, gets affected by it.
Yeah,
Regardless.
Yeah, definitely. Those on baseball fields, I don't know what it is. I don't know. Do you think it's funding? Or are they just keeping the nostalgia look or anything like that? It can't be great for it can't be great for playing on.
yeah. It's not even like at this point, like it's not even like looking bad. Like that's safety for the kids. Like the fields aren't even level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that, you could break your leg or twist your ankle real easy in the outfield. Yeah, who knows? Like how all who knows with the city funding and all? Who knows? I don't want to. I don't want to
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, I feel like Paul, we're thinking the same
Yeah,
about the local politics in West Haven.
yeah,
So I am not gonna go into that either
yeah.
because you know what? We're not that kind of show here. We're
You
not
know
that
what's
kind
crazy? One year before, like when I was working a summer job, I was constabling, and that's just you sitting at the beach, like taking the tickets or having people park or whatever. But one, we don't have meters, was stupid. Like, so that's another thing. And two, I was like sitting there, and you're just sitting there for like hours, baking in the sun. So you just get all thinking about stuff. It's weird. And I'm just like, I put out on Facebook, back to Facebook again, and I was like, yeah, what happened? I was like, yo, would you guys vote for me if I ran for mayor in like 2 years? So then I was like, but I would never do that because I never want to do that. But it was just like I was just bored again in the summer.
It's a tough. It's
Yeah.
It's
I
not a
would never
job
do
that
it.
I would want. Yeah, it's not a job I would want. Even though James would love for me to try.
Maybe if,
Ah,
maybe if they want to pay me like $1 million, maybe I'll consider it.
Yeah,
I'm the guy. I'm the guy that if Mike runs for mayor and if he gets it, I'm the guy that's at one of his conferences and I'm the guy that throws the shoe. Yeah, that's that's me. I'm throwing a shoe at Mike. That's what I'm gonna do. I know it's a federal offense in other countries, but well, I mean, what are you
yes,
gonna do?
I will have you arrested immediately. Immediately have you arrested and escorted out of my city. Just get out.
Man,
But
I haven't been to West Haven Beach in a while, man. The last time I went there, my daughter kicked her shoe off into the ocean. It was on one of the boardwalks on and at West Haven Beach, and just kicked it off.
she
Yeah,
she
man,
doesn't like the
that's
big
great,
thing.
man. That's great, man. I'm glad you are doing your thing, giving back to the community and everything like that, man. Because we all know that growing up, we all wanted to be a part of something like that or have somebody to look up to do stuff like that. So that's great that you're doing that, man. For real, seriously. Coming
Yeah,
from
no,
a
I
guy
appreciate
that's
that.
that's from the hometown as well.
Yeah, yeah, and I think like even Rob Jackson, he was like one of the first athletes to wear my stuff, or he might have been the first. He went to West Haven High School and played for
Went to high school with Rob.
oh word yeah played for the Washington team. We're not gonna say the old name now.
Yeah, yeah.
But
They don't have
yeah,
a name right now.
I'm about to say I don't even know what they to call them right now. I don't know if you heard, Paul, like the someone else has a trademark
oh
for
yeah, I saw.
Commanders.
Yeah, I saw some.
So
Mine's just
like
go back to
I
the
mean,
Mine's just
yeah,
go
I
back to
don't
the Washington Commanders. I meant Washington team. I mean,
the
I see. I don't
Washington
even know
football
now.
Yeah, yeah.
team.
Just go
Yeah,
Like
back to the
Washington football
team right
team.
now.
But yeah, so
Washington.
one thing that was cool, what he did one year, probably inspired me like unintentionally. It was just like I remember he donated all the jerseys to the high school, so that was cool.
Mm.
oh yeah, that's pretty cool. But that leads me. I mean, I only have like maybe one more for you. So I'm not sure if I asked you this earlier, but if I did, forgive me. We'll just circle back. But like, do you sit back sometimes and just be? And I know that you're still growing, so I
Mhm.
know that the hunger is still there. But like, do you sit back sometimes and be like you said, Anthony going viral with your gear on, being in the ring with Floyd Mayweather? Like, do you sit back sometimes and be like, this is crazy? Like, I can't believe
Mhm.
this is a thing right now.
Yeah. So yeah, like every year I kind of, well, not even every year, like every so often I think about it. And I'll be like, or so right now is May, and I'll be like, all right, what was I doing? So sometimes I don't feel like I'm growing, and then I look back, I'll be like, all right, what was I doing in May 2022, just to see, and like what has happened. Like even like going on my camera roll, like I forget things that happened, or like I have so much different content that I forget different things that happen. So yeah, I think like yeah, I'm just always I don't know. I feel like yeah, I'm always looking. I feel like I'm never gonna be satisfied. I think I tweeted this or something, but like I don't know if it's like a good thing or a bad thing, and I don't know what I just don't I don't know. It's weird, but like actually one of the new T-shirts I'm about to come out with is gonna be it's gonna be called it's gonna say grateful or was it grateful but starving because like
Mm.
I still feel even though I'm like in a great position and stuff, I still feel like I'm still hungry for more success.
Yeah, man. You should always be looking to grow,
Yeah,
and I don't think there's anything wrong with being in competition with yourself.
yeah,
So, like looking back where you were a year ago, 6 months ago, a month ago, just having like mini goals and stuff like that is something you should be doing if you're looking to push yourself to a next level, whatever that level is, even if it's 5% better. It's always a goal to do that. So I don't see anything wrong with that.
yeah, yeah. No, for sure.
Yeah, man, that's great.
And I mean, before we let you go, I'm gonna ask you one more question before we let you go. But I have to make sure, like we do on every episode, to remind everyone to hit that like, share, subscribe button, hit that notification, leave some comments when this goes up on YouTube. Follow us. We are on all. I'm sorry, Paul. We're gonna cut you out real quick. We're on all the social media platforms: Apple Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, YouTube, Twitch, wherever you get your podcast, video or audio. We are there. Like us, subscribe, leave some feedback for us. We appreciate all of it. Uh, only have one more question, one more thing for you before we let you go. Again, we appreciate your time. What's next? You have anything up and coming that you want to plug? The time is we're gonna give you the solo for it too.
Mhm.
um, what's next? So one, yeah, that was cool. Just even the last question with the self reflection thing. Just like I was glad I got to talk about Steve because like he doesn't get no shine or whatever. So I like shouting him out. What's next is really just like more into more boxing stuff. You know, basketball stuff coming up and just a lot of things. Like I got to back in April, I got to have three fighters on a card. One of them was a main event, one of them was a co-main event. So that was cool. Like just stuff in the fold, and just more growing and connecting with people like you guys.
Well, like I said, again, me, Breezy, we greatly appreciate your time coming on, chopping it up for us for a little while. I know you said you kind of leaning into the casual fandom, but when at the time of recording this, the 2023 NBA Finals is getting ready to start. I mean, we don't have both teams yet, but I mean, I'd be shocked if Miami blew this 3-1 lead. So
Yeah.
who you got in the finals? Nuggets. I'll give it to you this. So I'll make it easy for you. Nuggets, Heat, or Celtics. I'll give you all three.
Yeah, so I don't hate the Celtics as much as the Red Sox.
Hmm.
Uh, and it's like the Heat are hot, but like the Nuggets, I mean, obviously they're hot too, but like they got Jokic and Murray.
Hmm.
Murray's hot.
Uh, I want to, I want to say the Heat, but I think the Nuggets are going to win.
All right,
Hey.
that's that's James's pick. That's our first Nuggets pick besides James for the finals.
You
Uh,
know what's ironic and sort of sad is like Carmelo retired the other day, and it's like the
yes,
Nuggets are in the final, and I'm like, damn, like that would have been cool if they signed them for the last year.
Yeah. Yeah.
it would have been very fitting, and it
Yeah,
sucks. It also sucks. Well, this is going into our sports segments now that Jokic wears Carmelo's number.
yeah. I didn't
So
even, you know, I wasn't even really paying attention to all that because once again, like I don't watch it, but yeah, that was kind of weird to me that he was wearing it, or
that
like
they
they didn't say, like
It's a couple.
as
It's a
you know,
couple
as a Yankees
guys.
fan, they didn't even let. I don't even know anyone still wears 21 or Paul Neal. Like, I don't think he got retired. I can't remember, but they didn't let anyone wear 21 because of
it
Paul Neal. Like, and
it
he
just
wasn't even retired.
yeah, they just retired
Oh
it.
yeah, word. All
But
right, cool.
but you're right. No one they literally I think last season they retired it, but they didn't let anybody wear 21 after he left. Like
Yeah,
it
Yeah.
was just no. You can't you can't.
yeah,
I think
I
that has.
know
I think that has maybe has something to do with how with his relationship with George Carl at the time, because we all know him and George Carl
mhm.
weren't the greatest their relationship, and if you don't have the greatest relationship with their esteemed legendary coach, and did he move up in the rankings after he stopped being the coach?
he bounced around a little bit, but Denver likes to you're right. Denver likes to
Their guys,
broadcast George
yeah.
Carl. Yeah, George Carl is one of the people that they love to put out there.
Yeah, like
Which
even at the games with LA, like he still has like a box and stuff like that.
yeah,
He has his seats, his stake in the arena and stuff like that. And he hasn't coached there in years. So
yeah,
I think that may be attributed to it. But man, they needed it's a lot of teams that still lock certain numbers that you can't use them even if they're not retired. Like you heard the story recently about what Jimmy Butler said about the number 23, how Pat Riley retired that number even though Jordan didn't play for the Heat and stuff like that, and that nobody could wear that number. But he said if Jimmy Butler wanted to wear it, he would let him wear it and stuff like that. But he chose not to. That was his number in Chicago, right? No, no, it wasn't. No,
no,
I think
uh,
yeah, but they locked that number. So there are teams that can do that, and the fact that Denver didn't do that, I think that says a lot. I think Melo is a Nick lifer for me because I'm a Nick fan. He's a Nick lifer, and I do believe they should retire his jersey and retire his number. So
well, I
yeah,
think a cool thing too will be a hometown bias again, but UConn just does the I think I don't know if the Ring of Honor or something. So
mhm.
the jersey gets hung up in the Raptors, but you know they get to wear the players still get to wear the number. So it's kind of cool, like a 88 on the Cowboys. Like you know that's going to be their number one wide receiver, but like
hmm
you know like number 10 is probably going to be their point guard, stuff like that.
Yeah,
So I think like what UConn is doing, that's and I think eventually that's kind of what the pro teams are kind of going to adapt to, especially well, the Yankees, I don't think they're going to unretire stuff, but I don't think they're going to retire because at the end of the day, now
yeah.
you're running out of numbers. Like,
You're starting to run out of numbers. Yeah,
yeah,
it's gonna get to that point,
what
especially
team
with the
did
Yankees.
what team did Derrick Rose play for in college?
Memphis.
Memphis.
Memphis. So Memphis, they had that kid that died, Benji Wilson.
Hmm.
Yes,
Ben Wilson was it?
yes,
So whatever team Ben Wilson played for, he tragically got shot while he was the star player of that team. And for years after his passing, they retired his number, but what they did was they give his number to wherever the star player of the captain of the team is each season.
Yeah, that's dope.
So I think that's another cool thing that they do to pay homage to a player that so very similar to like the ring honor
Yeah,
ring that you were talking about. Yeah, I think that's pretty cool.
yeah. I think it was Larry Nance Jr. I think his dad's number was retired for the Cavs, and they let him wear it, obviously. But that's just like a cool nostalgia.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I know that's just a funny
That's a one
thing.
off. That's
Yeah,
a one.
I mean, I guess if Bronny, if LeBron James, if Cleveland happens to get to number one pick again for the 25th time in history, they could let Bronny wear 23, I guess. But Bronny doesn't even wear 23, I don't think.
he doesn't wear 23 or 6.
I think Bronny wears
We're zero.
zero.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
So I mean, there goes that pipe dream. But although it actually doesn't seem like, well, we'll see.
You
Kind of
think Bronny's
sounded like
making it to the NBA?
I think he can. So here's the thing. I think Bronny can make it to the NBA because he's talented enough. I don't think he's a one and done player. I think if he stays for a couple years, he could mature to an NBA player pretty easily. The problem is his Hall of Fame father wants to play with him and may
Yeah.
push like, and I attribute it, and James knows this because I used to yell about this all the time. Austin Reeves Austin Rivers,
Hmm.
Doc's son, was such a good college player, but he left. He one and done, and he wasn't ready for the NBA when he came to the NBA.
Hmm.
He could have used some more time in college to get a little better, but he was Doc's son. He had all this hype, and he jumped out early. So, as much as I would love to see Bronny be amazing, I hope he's not amazing and he just stays in college and just gets a little bit more maturing in college and then come to the NBA and be good. Obviously he's never going to be as good as his dad, but
Hmm.
I will never say never. But
I'm
I
being
doubt
biased.
he'll be that good.
Give him. He should have just went to UConn and stayed there 3 or 4 years. He'll be NBA ready.
Yeah, I mean, he could. I I agree with you. I agree with you. That is a blue blood dynasty over there in Stores, Connecticut.
Hmm.
We're claiming
And
basketball now, so
in basketball, not in football, not in football,
no, no, no,
not in
no.
football. Not in football. We don't do football here in Connecticut.
What's crazy is I went to I went to a UConn football game a couple years back, and I forget what game it was. We weren't that good, and we were playing like a top ranked football team. I forget, it leaves my brain right now. At the time, they were a ranked team, and we were playing them. And I went with my dad, and he had like a box from his job or something like that, and we were sitting in the box and everything. And it turned out to be a really good game, and UConn won as well. So I don't know if it was because it was just like happens had to be like a little superstition that we were there or something like that, or it was my first UConn football game I've gone to and everything, and they won. But it was a really good game. They had a lot of fight and everything, and they won, but I haven't heard much after that, honestly. That was like 2017. I haven't heard anything since then.
Trust me.
Not really.
There's nothing. There's nothing to talk about. There's nothing to talk about when it
Yeah.
comes to UConn football. But I mean, we'll see. Bronny, USC, I guess. I'll take. I mean, obviously he wanted to stay home, but
Oh yeah, one last thing I'll say about the USC thing. It gives me Little Romeo vibes when he went there.
he did no. I get the parallel. I get
Like
the
DeMar
parallel.
DeRozan uh, got Little Romeo there, or it was a package deal. Like that's what it. I feel like you like when's USC basketball been good?
It comes in spurts, and like they're just when they're up, they're just like they're okay, and
Yeah,
then
it's like no, that's why I don't. I don't know. That's why, like, if he went to if he went to UCLA, like, I think it'd be a whole different story.
That's where honestly I thought that's where he was going to go. I thought UCLA was going to be the ones to get him, but I don't know. I don't know who pitched him what or who pitched LeBron what that got him to USC.
I'll bring
It
up
was
the
that.
stat. The
It was that NIL deal.
last time they've been in the Final Four, 1954.
USC?
Oh my.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, yeah, that's you're right, James. This I smell NIL. That's what I smell.
That's that NIL. That's that NIL money because he got the
That's-
highest money now, right? Highest paid athlete for them.
I
That might have
I
been in the
must
clause.
I think it's him and Arch Manning, but I heard Arch Manning's parents aren't letting him do anything until he's a starter.
actually, Paul, I know we were about to wrap up, but that actually just popped a question to my head. So with NIL stuff,
Hmm.
do you see that as another avenue for you, or do you look at that as like now these boosters are gonna come in and it's gonna be like I know this person, you know that, like, and the boosters are gonna ruin it, or does
Mhm.
this NIL stuff open more doors and more avenues for you?
Yeah, I think a little of both. It's I think everyone is seeing what's on social media and these players that are making millions or hundreds of thousands, but those are the 1% of the 1%. So let's be realistic here, and that's why, like, players, a lot of players hit me up at the beginning, and they did go to big schools, but they weren't like start. So I didn't want to fail them or myself, like, to not get them deals or anything. So I haven't took on any NIL, but I do want to. And like I said, like one of the key people would be like a UConn women's player, and now the UConn men's players are back to basketball. So someone like that, and that's the other thing. Like when I signed my first one, I want to make a splash, and so I want it to be someone big and notable. And I think, like I said, like overall, it's just like I think I forgot what the company, or I think it's Open Doors. They came out with a stat, and it was like the average NIL deal is really like a couple $1,000s.
Wow.
Like it's not like what we're seeing. They're just showing
It's
us.
not
Like I
what's
said,
being glorified, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
like imagine, okay, like imagine, per example, UConn football players. Like, you think they're getting NIL money like that or anything close to live?
Probably.
How about to live off of? Like, maybe they're getting, extra food money, maybe some rent money.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing to like live off of.
Which is funny,
Yeah.
like comparing them to like Paige on the UConn women.
Oh yeah, and then she's richer
She's
than WNBA players.
like she's making more money than anybody on campus.
Yeah,
Yeah.
literally
Yeah.
anyone in the whole
Yeah.
state, state
Yeah, I'm
employee.
not a fan of when they make it seem as if all these new companies have just like expendable, like disposable money. I hate when they make it seem like they have disposable money and
Mhm.
everybody is making bank and everybody is getting paid and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's not.
Instead of, yeah, it's not that way.
Yeah,
So
that's why it's like they're selling people fake dreams, which they already been doing, but even
mhm.
more so to be, actually financially stable and stuff like that. But and then the other catch 22 with me personally is just like I feel like sometimes I might have lost business because now these companies want college players versus a pro player, which is kind of, I get it and I don't at the same time. Like, for me personally, like, I'm going after, I don't care if you're on the bench and you're a pro athlete. Like, I want the pro athlete
Yeah.
like that. I don't
Mhm.
know. Like, there's could be, perfect example. It could be somebody like, Tim Tebow and Johnny Manziel. Like, they both made it, obviously, but they were superior college players. But when they made it to the league, they were just like, I'd say like average. So it's like I rather have a starter that's a pro.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like, give me all the O linemen.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
give
Yeah.
me all the guys. Yo, those guys starters. Like, give me the starters.
Let's start before we let you go. Flying all the way in here, Mad Producer Podcast Poppy Dylan is here, joining us for this last few minutes that we have. Dylan,
At
how
the
you doing?
buzzer.
Sir?
At the buzzer, fellas. I ran here so fast. Paul, thank you so much for coming on and answering the questions that we all had. It's been something we've been talking about for a while, and you probably don't remember me. I just met you a couple weeks ago for the first time at West Haven Little League opening day.
No,
And,
that's dope. They were telling me that. That's a small world.
Yeah, and that's one of the things where it was like, oh, I would love to like talk to him and see what he's got going on and what he's about, because you sponsor the Cubs, who my son plays for.
Go Cubs, go!
Go exactly. So it's like I wanted to have this sit down and talk with you and pick your brain, because it's, again, small world. James, when I brought this up, was like, hey, how do we feel about bringing this up? He was like, oh, that's my guy. He's like, that's my guy. Like, let's do it. Yeah, let's talk to him. And you have an interesting story, and the list of athletes that you talk to or that you work with is it's different. It's an amalgamation of just eclectic people, from like Anthony Taylor, who is an insane person, but is super entertaining, to people like Jeff Adrian, like former UConn alum. Yeah. So like it's a cool, like again, amalgamation of unique characters and people, and I appreciate you taking the time coming on and sitting with us.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. And fun fact, I don't know if you saw anything on my Instagram page, but so this year I was telling them that this year I got in early with the sponsorships, because apparently they always fill up on the sponsorships for Little League. So this year I got to actually pick the team name. So I picked the Cubs because that's the team that I played for when I was in Little League, and then I picked the Phillies because that was the other team I played for. So that's the reason why I picked the Cubs this year. So that was cool.
You have girls majors too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, my niece plays for them.
Yeah. Oh, word. Yeah, I haven't gone to that, so I have to go to that one in the Phillies game to get the pictures.
Paul, you sponsoring the whole family. You sponsor. Yeah,
I guess.
Listen, man.
I'm gonna send you a flag. You can put it right here back there, so it's on the.
I'll take it, man. I'll take it. We'll do it. I'll put it all up. Hang on there, because it's a good opportunity, man. It was, and once I started like looking around and seeing, I was like, this is a great conversation. It's right up our alley as a whole, and I think it's great for the community. Yeah, and it's a massive. I think it's a massive deal, because I think you do great work.
Yeah, no,
so
I really
appreciate you.
Yeah, if you have any questions, I don't know if they. If they answered all of them, I'm down to.
Did we ask it? Did we hit everything I sent? Okay.
I think we got down to the bottom, but if you can freestyle, son, let's do it, man.
I do.
Freestyle.
So, just real quick. So I don't know about these guys, but I follow the crossover boxing scene, and I think Anthony Taylor is hilarious.
Yeah.
What is that? What is it like dealing with him in a day to day? And when communicate, what do you do just his scheduling? Do you do his promo? What do you do for him? Because I'm interested in see what the communication is like with Misfits.
Yeah. So for him, I just do his marketing. I'm his marketing manager. So I don't really deal with the management side for him, but I do for other boxers and stuff. But so I mean, like Mams, like he knows who I am and stuff. He follows me. I haven't like had a conversation like on the phone with him or anything, but yeah, he knows, like I said, who I am and stuff like that, because I work with him and Kimbo Jr. and day to day with him. Yeah. So Anthony's the type of person where you text him and he just calls you. He never texts you back. So it's kind of funny. It's kind of funny sometimes, and then sometimes like, bro, just text me. Like it was a simple like yes or no question. But he's a funny guy. Yeah, and he's like I was telling them, like he's just like a perfect. Like obviously he talks trash and stuff, but he's not like disrespectful to people. So it's like a perfect mixture of like selling it and like being entertaining at the same time.
I saw that you Idris Virgo tweeted out the marketing for this stuff. Are you working with him now too, or?
Yeah, so that's funny too. So he hit me up before Anthony and him fought, and then when they announced that, like I didn't know, and then I was like. I like stopped talking to Idris for a minute because I was like, this is weird. Like I knew at a point in my career that two of my fighters were going to fight each other eventually. So like I didn't sign him until afterwards. Like later, we just reconnected, and we also have like mutual connections because the other guy I work with, Mike Kimball, who's MMA and boxer, is good friends with MVP Michael Venom Page. So Michael Venom Page also trains with Idris in the UK. So it was just a full kind of circle again.
Yeah. So you do the similar thing with Idris as well now, just
Yeah.
like kind of marketing.
So yeah, I literally just signed him like I think in April. Yeah, it was April official. So we just started working together. So we haven't done much yet, but like planning to. Yeah.
Was it Idris that tried to fight Tommy Fury in the crowd?
Yeah. So he just went viral too. So that's why I'm like, yo, whatever. I'll take all the viralness, like whatever.
That's awesome, man. I think you do great work. I think it's great for the community, and the work that you're doing really shows. So again, I appreciate you for coming on and dealing with us, especially me coming in as late as I did. But man, thank you.
No, I appreciate it, and appreciate all the kind words, and yeah, and any boxing questions you got, just let me know.
No, definitely. Like again, once I saw all the fighters that you work with, I'm a big MMA guy. We've been talking boxing for the last however long in here. Like it's really cool to have somebody who's like in with these guys, does stuff for them, and could give a different perspective.
Well, one, you guys got to come to the next fight. It's still pending right now, but it might be January 14th at Mohegan in Connecticut. And then what was I gonna say? Oh, who do you guys got? Terrence Crawford or Errol Spence?
Man, I'm so glad because that is going to be on our next show. But I am going to put my chips on the table right now. Bud's winning that fight. Bud's winning.
Yeah, I got Terrence too.
Yeah, I'm a Bud guy. I think Bud's gonna win that
we're
one.
not gonna,
we're boring.
I know.
We're boring.
I know. No.
I still think it's 50-50 though.
I'm gonna go with Errol Spence. I think he's a technician guy, and I think he has good enough defense to avoid the onslaught that Bud can give. But I do think it's gonna be a good fight. But I'm going with Errol Spence. A lot of people think Errol Spence is scared of Bud Crawford. I think that he's just a very like even kill guy. I don't think that he's really rattled at all. But I do think that he's a perfect matchup nightmare for Bud. People don't believe so. I think so.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be like a one-way thing. I definitely think it's gonna be close. It's definitely gonna be close. But no, I respect it either way. But I'm going with Bud.
Bud got that dog in him.
I'll take the Errol Spence highway. And I think that and this has not even been in conversation yet or anything like that, but I think that if Devin Haney ever gives Shakur Stevenson a chance, Shakur Stevenson is going to tap his ass. I do think so.
We're on the same page there.
Hey, I think he puts him on the mat for sure.
Here, I'll give you guys breaking news too. One of the boxers I work with too, Steven Nelson. He's good friends with Terrence Crawford. He'll be on the card, so PG Sports will be represented on the card.
That's awesome. Look at you. Let's go.
There we go. Breaking news.
Breaking news live.
SOI. SOI.
I mean, I can play the song, Dylan. We have.
Let's do it. Breaking news.
Podcast Poppy is on the scene again. He has the shirt. The shirt.
We're here.
There you go.
Live. Paul Guarino, CEO of PG Sports. Breaking news on the pod. Breaking news on the pod.
So
that's funny.
Yes. Thank you, Dylan. You don't get a solo because you were late. So
I was late. Yeah. Thank you.
It's nothing. James. Oh yeah. So this is a part of the show, Paul. If you want to plug your Instagram, your socials, or how everybody can reach you.
Yeah. Again, appreciate you guys having me on the show. If anyone wants to follow me, my PG Sports account is just at PG Sports on Twitter and Instagram and TikTok, all that good stuff. My personal is PCG7. Pretty much answer all my DMs as long as the questions aren't crazy. And you can always hit me up, and I'll be sure to get back to you.
Again, I'll name myself later. Breezy here. I want to say thank you again for giving us the time. Thank you for the favor, Paul. This was great having you. This was a great talk. Um, yeah, man, I love everything that you're doing for the community and everything you got going for yourself, man. It's been a long time coming, and I think you deserve it. So, yeah, man, keep up the good work. For all the listeners and viewers, keep tuning in as much as possible. We got more stuff coming up. Follow me on Twitter. That's at Breezy5X. And you can follow me on Instagram. That's Breezy underscore BILLZ. And we out.
Yes, thank you again, Paul, for joining us. This has been a great episode on our interview series. Follow me on the socials at I am underscore MBJ at all the socials. Um, thank you for joining us. Like Breezy said, we've got more content coming, more interviews, more special guests on the way. We're just getting started. We got to do something to fill up these summer days. So we got more content coming for you. But again, Paul, we want to thank you, me, Breezy, Dylan. Want to thank you for being on. And yeah, that's it. Thank you,
Shout out
everyone.
Roz. Shout out Enoch.
Shout out the fellas, the rest of the fellas. And we are out of here.